Imagine stepping into the ultimate Beverly Hills dream, only to realize it's actually a straight-up nightmare, fueled by greed, secrets, and a double homicide that literally shook the entire world. Most people think they know the story of the Menendez brothers, but what happens when the people you trust the most, the ones who shared your dinner table, become your greatest threat? Welcome to Truthful. If you're liking what you see, let me know in the comments. And now let's dive into the story. This story kicks off way back in 1944 in Havana, Cuba, where Jose Menendez was born into a life that was eventually uprooted by the revolution, forcing him to flee to America at just 16 with absolutely nothing in his pockets but a massive ego and a drive to conquer. He was the definition of a hustler, dude. He worked his way through Southern Illinois University, where he met Kitty, a pageant queen and teacher. And from there, it was a straight shot to the top of the corporate ladder in New York, and then Hollywood. Jose wasn't just some businessman. He became the CEO of Live Entertainment, a massive film and music studio, and he was the kind of guy who rubbed shoulders with celebrities and handled millions of dollars like it was pocket change. But behind the scenes, Jose was a total tyrant who treated his family like a business project that had to be perfect. And that's where things started to rot from the inside out. He moved the family to California to be closer to the action. And while the world saw this perfect family, the boys, Lyle and Erik, were growing up under a microscope of intense pressure and weird expectations. As they grew older, they didn't become the Ivy League scholars Jose wanted. Instead, they started hanging out with a pretty shady crowd, getting involved in some low-key criminal vibes that honestly should have been a red flag for everyone. We're talking about two kids who had every luxury imaginable. Yet they were out there breaking into neighbors' houses in Calabasas, stealing over $100,000 worth of cash and jewelry just for the thrill of it, which is just straight up insane when you think about their allowance. Erik was this high-level tennis prodigy, ranked 44th in the country, but he was leading a double life, even writing a weirdly prophetic screenplay about a kid who kills his parents for the inheritance. Talk about foreshadowing, right? Meanwhile, Lyle was getting kicked out of Princeton for plagiarism and acting out in ways that showed he was totally spiraling, like throwing his roommates' stuff out or being a general menace. By the time 1989 rolled around, the tension in that house was at a boiling point. The boys felt like their dad was going to write them out of the will, and Jose was supposedly fed up with their failures. So on that fateful Sunday night, while Jose and Kitty were sitting on their white suede sofa watching a movie, the boys didn't just walk in, they hunted. They had gone out of their way to buy shotguns in San Diego using fake IDs because they knew California's handgun laws were too strict. And when the first blast hit Jose in the back of the head, the perfect Hollywood life he built vanished in a cloud of smoke. Kitty's frantic attempt to run was met with a literal wall. Of late, as her own son shot her so many times, she was unrecognizable. And right after the smoke cleared, they started cleaning up the evidence, dumping their bloody clothes and hiding the shotguns near Mulholland Drive. They actually planned to go to the cinema to watch Batman, just to have a solid alibi. But then they realized something that would have ruined them. The movie tickets would have the exact time and date printed on them. And if the timing didn't match the murders, they were toast. So, they ditched the movie plan and headed to a local festival in Santa Monica instead, trying to blend into the massive crowd so they could claim they were out having fun while the tragedy happened. When they finally returned home and called 911, sobbing and screaming that someone had killed their parents, they almost pulled it off, but the police weren't stupid. They started getting suspicious because these guys were spending money like it was going out of style, dropping $700,000 on Rolexes and Porsches within months. The real breakthrough came when the police talked to Erik's friends and found out about that creepy screenplay he wrote. Plus, a cousin mentioned that Lyle had allegedly deleted a new version of Jose's will from the home computer that would have left everything to charity. But the final nail in the coffin was when Erik, eaten alive by guilt, finally broke down and confessed everything to his therapist, Dr. Jerome Oziel, leading to a trial that turned into a courtroom circus. In the end, despite their claims of horrific secret abuse, the jury saw it as a calculated grab for cash. And both brothers were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, leaving us all wondering what really happens when the cameras stop rolling and the mansion doors finally close. So at the end of the day, it leaves us with one haunting question. Were Lyle and Erik Menendez cold-blooded predators who calculated every shot? Or were they just two broken kids who saw no other way out? Even now, decades later, with new evidence and documentaries popping up, the world is still split right down the middle. It's kind of crazy to think that behind those mansion walls, the American dream was actually a ticking time bomb. But hey, I want to hear from you. Dude, do you think they deserve a second chance at freedom? Or should they stay behind bars for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this one. If you found this deep dive as insane as I did, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe to Truthful for more dark stories, true crime, and the mysteries that stay hidden in the shadows. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one.